Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper left-hand corner, we have white as the white Protoss. I always have to pause on that. Mustard colored Protoss upper right-hand corner is Tossim. This is going to be on Deja Vu, once again, which is fun to say. And I gotta say, the last game, if you didn't catch it, I definitely recommend going and enjoying that one. The saying, it's not over until it's over. I guess the original one was it's not over till the fat lady sings, and then it kind of morphed into it's not over till it's over. But definitely a reminder from the previous match that it's not over until it is over. Holy cow. What just an insane turnaround of events. I have to imagine that Tossim right this second is somewhat tilted. And we'll see, honestly, after that, I would feel like he would be thinking about going for a, well, it's possible we'll see another DG play from both these guys, but I would definitely expect 2-gate Robo after seeing all of that, because that's the middle bread, and 2-gate Robo doesn't put you in too bad a situation across the board. It puts you in a stone's throw of any build order. It doesn't give you like a sizable advantage in many instances, but it puts you in a place where you can kind of strike back regardless of what's happening. We have the gateway being plopped down here initially. Let's see. I'm wondering if white will opt for a 2-gate once again. Also have to check the Tossim scouting pattern. It looks like Tossim is going to end up with first scout. We'll see which direction white going to make his way across and end up seeing the probe. Is it going to be a scouting? No, it looks like white is making his way across the map. Is he going to go straight across? I think he's going to go straight across. He's gone ahead and dropped an assimilator. We have a 2-gate opener here for Tossim this time, so going to invert the situation of game one. Now we'll have to, I have to presume with this probe early in the base, this is actually a big advantage for Tossim as well, because oftentimes you have to, it can be difficult to breach the ramp, but being able to pull the probe from the rear and keep that ramp open is a sizable advantage when you're going for, when you're going to go for attacks here. Only a single probe on gas, by the way, here from white, so not all three. Check to bottom right hand corner is making his way catty corner top right. First zealot queued up. Gonna go ahead and dedicate initial probe to get a little bit of damage, or at least to keep that feisty probe off the lines. First zealot is out. 2 additional zealots queued up. Are we going to see? We'll have to see if additional gas is dropped in the midst of this. The probe sees the zealot as it's making its way out on the field. So zealot plugging that gap right this second. Now the question is okay, the probe actually going to do the attacking off the line. Second gateway is going to get dropped, and that will be. Now we'll have to see the defense, and no gas. So this is going to be potentially continuous zealot. And white sees the lack of gas, sees the 2-gate and the lack of gas. Probe walking up to blockade the ramp gets wiped out pretty rapidly. The zealot is able to breach. A shield battery wisely dropped here from white. First Dragoon's going to be out, but one zealot has already managed to make it into the probe lines. No drill all the way across. The Dragoon is making its way back across to deal with this, but this is very dangerous for white. He's got the shield battery up, but unless he moves the fight back to the forward lines, it looks like he's going to follow by building. So I kind of like this play here. So cleaned up the initial zealot, but is building a zealot as well, additional zealots in the midst of this, offering up a little bit of damage from that Dragoon, and thus far has not taken massive damage. And with that additional zealot is able to get a little bit of wipeout right there. It's taking some, that zealot very weak. Yeah, is going to get wiped out. And so white holds 2 more zealots. Hasn't reclaimed his ramp just yet though, and he's behind in workers in the midst of this. But keep in mind, this is a much later assimilator than typical, and we still have these 2 zealots active for Tossim. So Tossim has exchanged. There we see the drill finally. Another worker wiped out. So Tossim now ahead with the initial worker count, but is going to be down a significant amount of Dragoons. And really when you drop 3 and then make your way into the additional troops. So now Tossim actually has to kind of offer up these zealots to buy some time to get his own Dragoons out on the high ground to protect that high ground. And he might even want to run them bottom left and just kind of trail that out away from his base as long as possible. Because what this is going to allow white to do as the 3rd gate's getting dropped in Tossim's base is it's going to allow white with a superior unit count. So -2, etc. Didn't mean to mark the ramp, but point being, he's got a 4-unit advantage here. And that potentially is going to box Tossim out of this natural expansion. Tossim actually moving a worker down here. Needs to be careful. Yeah, so it's basically low ground advantage, and white can reinforce. You can see the additional Dragoons making their way across. Recognizes it. Zealots trying to push their way back down. Probes were worried about the attack up the ramp. Is white still going to go for it? White is still going to try to push his way up. Able to wipe out that Zealot, and now is going to bully his way in with superior Dragoon count, but it's still 3 gateway here in the main. So white might have overstepped. Workers are pulling off the line, so might have an opportunity to equalize the worker count at the very least. The workers are going to be a huge differential here. Tossim's Dragoons spawning out as well. The Dragoons are now surrounded and pinned in. Zealots on white side doing what they can. Still doing a great job of, I gotta say, microing in the midst of this. But with that, how did white micro his way out of that? Holy cow, he still has a Dragoon left. I was not expecting that Dragoon to remain, so not able to focus fire as best he, as much as he wanted to, and as a result, Dragoons dying on the front, but white able to go ahead and cap that natural expansion well ahead of Tossim. So Tossim has just 2 Dragoons to his name. Granted, white has 2 Dragoons to his name, but with the 1 gateway down and not having to produce as many Dragoons, gonna get this Nexus up. And after all, that last exchange from white, it was a little hard to, maybe I should have gone to it's just white's name is white. I don't want to like disrespect the name selection, but maybe I should have for that, just for the fight, switched colors. Mental note to maybe do that in the future. Tossim, recognizing he's potentially down in this situation, is going to charge forward with the Dragoons he has. We only have 2 Dragoons at the forward field for white. White, very rapid reaction against these 4 Dragoons. We have a couple cannons actually dropping in the midst of this to provide detection, but also some additional defense. They are going to morph in time. And now Tossim, yeah, going to have to... This was a significant investment, though. So Tossim should feel free. He's going to be behind economically, but should feel free with the cannon drop in particular to go ahead and grab his own Nexus and potentially invest in... he's going to need to invest in detection, but potentially to invest in robotics. In the meantime, we already have a Templar Archives up here from white, and he's producing Dark Templar. Is just presuming that Tossim is going to skip the robotics and potentially not be in time to recover. And considering all the antics that happened in the previous matches, I'm wondering if that's a safe bet. Is Tossim going to follow this up with the Forge? Is he going to get the robotics up? Right now, I see no motion towards detection. And so white, with dropping the cannons and well protected behind this, and oh my goodness, yeah. DT's making the way out. The DTs are already on the map, and we got nothing. So this is going to be potentially a canceled Nexus. No Forge even being built, so Tossim was just trying to cut a corner here. Trying to cut a corner. Fortunately for him, DT's having a little bit of trouble, so making the way out, but this is going to be game off Dark Templar. Another Dark Templar win here. Just now dropping the robotics, but this is going to be way, way too late. Just too much damage, and they're going to be able to walk all the way up into the main. Maybe Tossim can block this ramp, but the thing is even if he blockades with the Dragoons, he's going to end up losing this Nexus on the exterior. He's going to be down. He's going to be down a lot of workers, and looks like he's not even blockaded the ramp. The Dark Templar is already making their way in the main. They can actually attack the robotics here. And they don't even need to attack. Yeah, that's GG from Tossim. Oh, that's a rough way to close this out, but white will advance at 1 and 2. Tossim is pressing on at 0 and 3. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.